Hey guys, how's it going? It's Chris here, and welcome to a review. Now, I know I usually do some anime reviews, and I have like my whole out of 100 grading system, which I personally really like. However, I'm not going to do that with these right here. I'm actually going over some Ghibli films, as you can tell by the title, and because I got the Ghibli collection for my birthday, we're going to be watching through a bunch of them, and then I'm going to try to rate and do a whole little quick rapid-fire review for each of those movies, because I really, really enjoy Ghibli films. They're some of my favorite movies of all time. And I just wanted to give you guys my personal opinions on some of them, so eventually leading up to a top 10 Ghibli films video that will come once we watch all of these. So right now, last night we just watched Laputa, Castle in the Sky, and I thought it was Laputa, which is like the slut. Honestly, general quick opinion, I liked the movie. I have some likes and dislikes here. I have some notes I wanted to talk about, things that were in my mind as I watched the movie, and just give you guys my general opinions. So first of all, we're going to start off with the likes of the movie. The art, obviously, is beautiful for its time. It came out in, like, I want to say late 80s, like 86, 89, or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's somewhere around that range. They pull out the stops. They're amazing. It always looks so gorgeous. Some scenes didn't look as amazing as, I think they could, but again, for the time period, the animation, everything flowed very well, so I was obviously engaged visually, as I always am. But the characters also had this, I liked it, but it was also a little bit distracting, but they had this, like, a cartoony feel to them. They were, like very cartoony. A lot of times Ghibli films take their subject matter very seriously, and the characters move very human. A lot of the characters in this move very cartoony, like a goofy anime, One Piece or something like that, where some of the characters were, like, I don't know, just weird move, like, puffing up their chest really huge to bust out the shirt, and just looking like old Tom and Jerry cartoon wind-up for the punch in the stomach, and just like weird stuff like that. It was very odd. I hadn't seen that in a Ghibli film really before, and while it caught my attention, I kind of liked it. It was a different pace. It was a different style that they went with, and I personally enjoyed it. Next we have one of the characters, Muska, however you want to pronounce it, was played by Mark Hamill himself back in the day. He did a really good job. I didn't realize it at first. I'm thinking like, God, this guy sounds so familiar. There's a lot of really familiar voice actors in this, and a lot of them I did recognize from other shows. I can never place the actor's name, but Mark Hamill definitely stood out to me, and I could definitely tell when he was doing the laugh that it was very close to an insane Joker laugh.
With a kind of warmth and a friendliness when he's her friend, down to sort of, give me that crystal!
Be reasonable. There's no way you can escape.
It was good, but I did keep thinking of the Joker as he was going. I kept looking at his character just like trying to pick up on the mannerisms of Joker throughout, so it was good, but it got me thinking about the character in a different... It gave me an impression of the character that I don't think I should have gotten by association with the actor's other works. Next we have, for another thing I liked, is the soundtrack did fit the scenes. A lot of times when you watch a lot of animated movies and even a lot of live action movies, sometimes the soundtrack just doesn't fit the scene. It outpaces what's going on, or it's too somber for what's happening. It gives you the wrong idea, the wrong emotional instinct. It's something's wrong, but this movie seemed like everything fit. It was wondrous. It was imaginative. It had a flourish to it at points. And there were even a lot of times in the movie where it was entrancing, like when they actually finally broke through the whirlwind that was surrounding Laputa, and they hit the open air, and they were over the castle in the sky, and they were just, everything went dead silent. They were just like little ding 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 ding, like little piano in the background, and like the music started to swell. It was just that like, and then the music started to build. You got to that point, you're just like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It snags you, pulls you right in, and it just gives you this serene feeling. It's very nice, and they did a very good job. Whereas I can't really remember all the songs. I can't remember the soundtrack. The ending song was very good, and I can't place them all in my head. They're not going to be stuck in my head, but at the time they were giving me very good feelings, and I felt comfortable with the music. Next we have a couple of dislikes, and these are just kind of nitpicks for me, because I never really dislike a Ghibli film. They're just some small things that I pick up on. One, which was the main girl, Shita. Her accent, alright? She's played by Anna Paquin, or Paquin, I don't know how you pronounce it, Paquin, I believe. But she's mostly known, or one of her biggest roles is playing Rogue in X-Men. But she's apparently Canadian and New Zealand. She's from New Zealand, but lived or grew up in Canada. So she had a New Zealand accent. And throughout the movie, it was like normal accent. So a lot of times she was talking in certain words and certain phrases, certain emotions she'd push out, and she would have this accent, and I'm like, oh, accent, alright, that said that kind of weird, but it was fine, I was okay with it. We watched the English dub, obviously. We usually watch the English dubs for Ghibli films, but, yeah, the accent was, I didn't like it that much. It was fine, it just felt odd. Like, the voice actress, obviously, Anna Paquin did a good job, but sometimes the accent would sneak in there and be strong. Just kind of pulled me out of it for a second because I don't ever expect it. She talks normally, then all of a sudden there's an accent on that. There's a little fringe at the end of the word that catches my attention, and it just became kind of annoying to a point. There's another thing is whenever they kept saying her name Sheeta, S-H-E-E-T-A, it kept sounding like everyone kept saying cheetah, like the big cat. It kept sounding like everyone's like, cheetah! Cheetah! In like high tense situations. So that got annoying. I'm like, Sheeta. Sheeta. How hard is it to say Sheeta? Not cheetah! Cheetah! I went to go type in Sheeta, and while I was, gathering notes for this, and I typed in cheetah, because in my head it's cheetah. Especially when the other character, Patsu, who's the secondary, or one of the two main characters, Sheeta and Patsu, Patsu kept saying cheetah, so you hear him saying 90% of the time, and it just gets embedded in your brain, obviously, because I just said freaking cheetah. And next, the movie was long. The movie was 2 hours, 2 hours, 20 minutes long, which for an animated movie in the 80s is a very long movie. 80s movies are usually like 60 to 80 minutes tops. And this was a 2.5 hour long movie. However, while I dislike that, I have to note that it did feel nicely paced. I didn't feel like this was dragging on. It was dragging on. The world was interesting enough. The characters were interesting enough. It had enough energy. It had enough going on. And it had enough low moments to keep you invested throughout. When we got to the end, I did find myself thinking at about the 2 hour mark, how much more is there? I can see we're getting close to the climax, but just how long is it going to take to get there? And 2 hours, 20 minutes. So it was a long movie, and I didn't like that because I have a short attention span, but Ghibli is so good at keeping me attached and focused to the movie, characters, and everything going on that it didn't feel like 2.5 hours, so that's good. The next thing that I want to talk about is just, it was something I disliked because it was uncomfortable. The Sons of Dola, okay, the pirates, all of the main pirate ladies, all of her sons, they had a weird crush on Sheeta, and when they started working together, Sheeta and Patsu kind of joined them to to accomplish their goals. All the sons who are like in their late 20s, mid 30s, assumingly some maybe even close to 40, there's like 4 or 5 of them, had like a weird crush on her. Sheeta's 13. And it wasn't just like, they adore her, they find her so cute and whatever. It's like they want to protect her. Like, no, they had they were blushing. They were going out of their way to be like, I finished my work, time to go help Sheeta. Then a lot of the subtitles, even though the English dub didn't say a lot of the subtitles would read for the Japanese translation, calling her beautiful and saying that they love her and stuff. It's like, you guys are in your mid-30s and she is canonically 13. And not to mention, all of them are wearing pink pants spandex, like tight to the bodies, pink spandex. And one dude had a mustache that did this all the time. His face was covered, but he had a mustache that was like, it was like a seaweed in the ocean. It was just like, what the fuck's going on with this guy? Before I give you guys my final rating, just a couple of other notes as some things I kept track of while I watched the movie. I actually started off keeping a counter of how many times characters should have died in the movie. Like, if this was like any other Ghibli film, would they follow some sense of realism to a degree, despite magic and, alternate realms and, like, weird creatures and stuff? They usually follow just physics and gravity, and they usually follow that pretty good, give or take a couple of exceptions. But the people you're watching are usually people, and they act and behave like people. They have the same limitations as people. And sometimes there were some scenes where, you were dead. You were absolutely dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead twice in 3 seconds. Holy crap. And stuff like that. And I kept track of how many times characters should have died to where I just lost count. I just stopped counting. I'm like, whatever. Obviously, they've given up on that whole thing, and I give up now keeping track of how many times freaking Patsu should have been dead, which in the first half hour of the movie was like 6 times. Just saying. But whatever. That's just a small nitpick. I can suspend that for whatever. And then, this is equally a like and dislike of the movie. It's a like because it shows just how well for the time period that this was animated and how much you're actually invested to where you are putting yourself in the movie rather than watching the TV. So I got vertigo throughout the movie. I started feeling just like, oh god, as they were soaring through the air, as they were falling, and as they were dealing with like getting caught by the wind and like a little kite paraglider thing. I was getting vertigo. I was feeling like, oh god, I'm like dizzy from that. And that's just an extreme compliment to the animation and to the art team for being able to bring that feeling to life. At that time, you have to remember, this movie's in the 80s, man. It's old. And they could do that. And so I like that. I'm impressed by that, but I also dislike it because I don't want the movie making me feel sick. But it did. But, oh well, what are you going to do? So, final thoughts, guys. I really enjoyed the movie. I would watch it again. It's one of Sam's favorite movies, and it's in her top 3. I don't know if it's even in my top 10, but we will see. Once I watch all the movies, I will gather everything, and then I'll decide what's in my top 10 and not. I don't know if it's in my top 10. If anything, it's close. It might be 9 or 10. But I'm going to give this movie a solid 7 out of 10. Not based on my prior criteria for my my prior rating system. This is just off the top of my head. I'd say a good 7 out of 10. So it's a definite recommend. I think you guys should watch it. And yeah, so let me know what you think. If you really enjoyed the movie, let me know what some of your favorite parts or anything in the. So what's your favorite Ghibli film? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you want to see more reviews, wait till the end of this video to click on the links that will be displayed, or go ahead and check the description if I remember to put it there. I often forget to put things in the description because I suck. Go watch some more reviews, and I will hopefully be making a few more of these. Yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.